Today on the VR station, Doom VFR. Let's get right to it. So where do I begin? Doom VFR attempts to take all the fast-paced, frenetic demon-slaying action of Doom 2016 and bring it to virtual reality. Unfortunately, it's not the whole Doom 2016 experience and is more of a condensed 2 to 3 hour experience at most. Motion controls are present, of course, and work on a base level, but that's about it. Doom VFR doesn't do anything special when it comes to the use of motion controls. When interacting with objects, such as pulling a lever, albeit there's only one in the whole game, it just doesn't feel great. Any interaction with touchscreens is done by using a pointer which extends from the player's hand. I may as well start with the Doom 3 BFG VR Mod comparisons right now. So yeah, Doom 3 VR did it much better. You actually feel like you're part of the world in that, where you physically use your finger in game to push different buttons on touchscreens. I understand you're the consciousness of a doctor inside a robot or whatever, but it just feels lazy. I've seen a few comments here and there about the hand rotation being off compared to the rotation of the One controllers, but I didn't experience this myself. Moving on to movement, you have two main ways of moving around when using motion controls. The first being a dash form of movement where you hit a direction on the touchpad and you launch like 5 foot or so in that direction. The other is a teleportation system which works pretty much like any standard teleportation in VR. It can be a bit buggy at times when trying to navigate the higher platforms, and it may have cost me a few deaths. Supposedly you can use free locomotion, but only when using the standard controller. Why they chose this is beyond me. I understand you have to move around at quite a fast pace in order to survive, but you could have easily just had free locomotion with the ability to dash as well. Like you could double tap on the touchpad on which direction you'd like to dash in, and I think that would alleviate any problems. With only having the dash mechanic, it really feels like a pain in the arse to move around accurately, especially in some tight areas. You'll find yourself getting stuck on objects and walls among other things. Other VR games have done this much better, even mods made by a few people. To see this from a big developer is baffling and makes you wonder if they've played any other VR games as of late. Then there's just little options that are missing, like you have to have the dash movement oriented around your head rotation and have no option to set it to the controller. I know this may not bother some people, but the choice would be welcomed. You also don't have many VR configuration options in general, which is quite annoying after playing Doom 3 in VR, which has a plethora of options to tailor the experience to your liking. Despite these shortcomings, the gameplay is still enjoyable and does make you feel like a true destroyer of demons. The weapons are fun to use, especially once you upgrade them, and the enemy AI seems to work much like it did in Doom 2016, with the enemies using the verticality of the levels to their advantage and seem like they're always on the move trying to off you. Well, it's enjoyable when you're actually fighting demons. There are quite a few sections in the game where you're in a sort of hub area where you literally just go pick things up and perform menial tasks. This would be all fine and well if the interaction was implemented well, but as I mentioned earlier, it just isn't. It involves teleporting around, pointing at an object, hitting a button to pick it up, then you just go find where the item belongs, awkwardly maneuver to a position where you can point at the area it's meant to be in, and again you just hit a button. Where's the interesting interaction that I've seen in many other games, where you actually feel like you're part of the world? These sections could have easily been left out to allow for more action because they're just worthless. In terms of replay value, there's some, but not a lot. You have 3 challenges on each level, which can be quite fun to try and attain. There's also the little Doom guy figurines to collect, but with the levels not being as open as Doom 2016, these aren't so interesting to find. I played through the game on Ultra Violence, and it was a decent enough challenge, but I really don't see myself revisiting this one again unless I'm gonna show it to friends. Graphically, the game looks pretty fantastic. I ran the game with 2x super sampling and options on Ultra with SMA turned on. It was relatively clear, and with the game using assets straight from Doom 2016, it was quite an experience to see them up close in VR. Overall, it's a visually impressive VR game. I wouldn't really expect anything less from id Software though. Onto performance. While the game is pretty smooth and generally runs well while looking great, it has a few pretty annoying bugs. The main one is that the game would hang now and again for a few seconds, look like it was downscaling the resolution, then continue and turn the resolution back up. This must have happened about 5-6 times in my 2 or so hour playthrough. I also experienced a couple of crashes as well. Along with desync when I first ran the game, this would happen every 30 to 40 seconds, which was incredibly frustrating, though it seemed to fix itself when I ran the game the next time. If this game was a longer experience, I could accept this number of bugs and crashes, but for a game that's just over 2 hours long, it's not acceptable. It's certainly the most buggy VR game I've played to date. There's not much to say about sound other than that it's fantastic. The sound effects and music are taken straight from Doom 2016, which is one of the best sounding games in recent times. I honestly don't think I'd have enjoyed this game as much if it wasn't for Mick Gordon's incredible crunchy as fuck metal score, though it certainly is lacking in variety, only containing a few pieces from the full game. Guns, enemies and environmental sounds are really well implemented as well, but you can't really go wrong with assets which are already present from another game. I knew not to expect much from Bethesda releasing a game for a third of what they normally charge, but I don't think it's really worth that price. While I did have some fun with it, I was just left wanting a lot more. I was questioning if they've put any time into playing any other VR games, or if they just thought they could get away with doing the bare minimum. So to anyone who's looking to buy this, I'd wait for a sale, and in the meantime, buy Doom 3 BFG edition as you can get it for a tenth of the price of Doom VFR. Put the link of the Doom 3 VR mod in the description below, as it's honestly the best VR experience I've had to date. Maybe if I hadn't played that directly before this, I'd be more forgiving, but it's just incredible how a mod which is free can provide an infinitely better time. So thanks for watching. I'd like to know what you think of Doom VFR yourself. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.